Okay.
Meeting I gotta be to.
Here we go. Look at that. Okay. This is our, let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Let's see it. Looks bigger for me. Can you see that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see up top, and you can't see my cursor really, we've got, we're carrying over the pub, the main dining room refresh. We're carrying over the Ring Road, which was a 2025 project, and Ridgecrest renovation. So we've got on here, we've got 4, 5, 6.5 million of carryover projects. Just got off, I'm going to share with you here. Well, not that surprising news. We got had a call with the designer yesterday about furniture. Some good news on that. They're actually going to send us some chairs, so we're going to do a sit test. Okay. We're going to measure Caucasus and we'll have everybody try them out and see how it works out. But what we did was got a reality check as to when we could really have this furniture here. So, all the furniture that you see in these projects is all custom. You're picking a chair and then you're picking a fabric with it. And do you want casters on it and everything else? And it takes some time. So we just learned that the way the schedule looks right now with the manufacturers and everything, that we're not going to be able to see the furniture until probably the end of June.
End of June?
June. So, once we get a hard date on that from them, we're then gonna back up to find the start date for the project. So construction starts and ends, and we have furniture placement, we open. And so, yeah.
So
You're
you
here
move in
first.
January to April?
March, April, yeah, we'll see. So, this is our big lines right now, the pub, dining concept, refresh. We budgeted 2.5 million. Ridgecrest renovation phase 2 that's all being done as kind of one project at 2 million. We're pretty close on all that. We're trying to work out soft cost and FF&E right now. We anticipate that we're probably going to be exceeding the budget on those projects, at least by a little bit. More to come on that. Unit renovations, this is kind of a standard line. We're budgeting for 40 turns at about 55,000 a turn. We look at this number, when we look at last year, particularly, when this is budgeted for the average of what we spent last year. But the big number that we really looked at was the median, because we did a lot of combo units and they were very high priced. So we actually think we can come in a little bit lower on this number. That it does remain to be seen, but it's a pretty solid number. Next up, we have 450,000 for one of the IL buildings. We're starting with refresh there. We'll do one this year, one next year, and one the year after. The exterior painting of the residential of Maple Building, we've done Laurel, we've done Spruce. This will be the last building. It is a little less because it is a smaller building, less floors on one side. And also that, I don't know if you recall, in the Laurel and the Spruce building, we had some initial construction challenges with the bay windows and a few other areas that we had to build into that. That was significant, a couple $100,000 to repair all those. Maple Building was built much after that, and they didn't run into the same problem. So it's less of a spend. A refresh of the auditorium, that will be paint, carpet, and new chairs. We will also do a sit test on those chairs.
You gonna get those for Christmas?
That's we kind of try to pull that and get some things going already, but they wouldn't let us pull the trigger on anything till January 1. 2 more vehicles are getting lined up. Independent living patio metalwork painting. That's a mouthful. That is, we're gonna see this project coming up probably every 5 years on this, but you just got that rust issue and they look unsightly, so it's time for that. The usual emergency contingency, which is $150,000, and that's usually gets filled up with MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, or HVAC, stuff that's been unforeseen. Again, as an example, we were gonna look to start replacing what we call RTUs, rooftop units. And these are these, big metal boxes up on the roof, and inside there's compressors, the condensers, there's fan motors, there's all these different elements to it. And to replace them is about $350,000. They're very expensive. Some of the bigger ones could be $450,000. But you have to look at those as cars. Okay. And a starter goes, an alternator goes, this goes, that goes. So you have a choice. You either go out and buy a new car or you take care of the repairs. And so we've decided to take care of the repairs. As an example, one of the RTUs lost a fan motor and we just got that taken care of by train. It cost us $13,000. And we can do this for a while. We're trying to determine, I do have in the budget for next year and for the next following 4 years. We looked at doing RTUs, full replacements, but we'll kind of see. Yes,
What's
Bill?
the expected life of an RTU? You have any idea?
25 years.
So we're getting close.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
But that, again, the thing is that it's not like one piece of equipment. It's like a box with all these different things
Yeah.
in it. And so, some of those things will run for 30 years. And the funny thing is too, is going back we're also trying to put together a list where we understand, okay, RTU number 3, is that an original compressor or was that replaced 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Or 7 years ago. And so we have speaking of software, we have a new asset tracking program called TELS. And this allows us to, whenever we put in a new asset, we can plug in the date, what it was and everything, and we'll be able to look at the RTUs and say, okay, well, yeah, the RTU got up on the roof in 25 years ago, but the condenser, the compressor, whatever, are 5 years old. So, unless the box is gonna rot out and disintegrate, it's fine.
One item that is in the background hasn't risen above eye level yet. With Ultimate Systems, it looks like $49,000 will be added to your CapEx plans for a new croquet court.
Whoa.
We've had it, it'll be 8 years. And it's in need of leveling. And to me, that's throwing money away if you don't do the whole court. So just, it's something, we've already talked to Johnny, and he's gonna be coming back with some numbers.
Okay, for 2027.
No, for 2026.
Budget is baked for 26, but we'll see. Next up, condensers and HVAC miscellaneous, the auditorium roof, the retaining walls and the maple courtyard. There's some challenges there, and there's also some walls on the perimeter of Maple that we're gonna do as well.
Yeah.
Surprised we could have, we've got that wall at the end of Laurel that, kind of, if you ever noticed, that's out. They've been looking at that since 2006. And they've had engineers out over the
Has it
years. Yeah, about 2 inches. We measure it. There's actually, we actually measure it from the building.
Then
And
take that
so-
off and put the croquet court on.
Well, we'll see. We just we've got an engineer coming out to take a look at the wall and see if it's gonna need to be redone. If it needs to be redone, we have to take the wall down, kind of rebuild it, re-backfill it, put some drainage into it, so we'll see about that. But right now, we know that we've got to do these maple courtyards, so we're on it. 55,000 in auto door openers, and I've just been throwing this in every year. We've changed a bunch of them or added a bunch of them, and we're gonna continue to do so. No fun stuff, but servers, licenses, application, that's a yearly thing. Our appliance inventory, continuing with our dam remediation project. Oh, there's that retaining wall on the Maple Ring Road. Some convection ovens, the pool roof, 2 exam chairs for the medical suite, F&B POS equipment, greenhouse for the farm, little gutter repair and cleaning, sidewalk restoration, a ride-on vacuum, chairs for activity room 1 and 2, patio furniture for the Ridgecrest Courtyard, dining room chairs, those are to replace those shot chairs in the bistro. Going to do some of the flooring in here, some dryers, humidifier boards, and you know, it gets down into really little stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of a Cerrito lift. This is a sit to stand lift for sniff. Got some work on the tile, the floor in the kitchen. An ice and water dispenser for the associate break rooms, some new bollard lights, some bistro tables and chairs to be outside the bistro along the wall, some vital towers for trad, backpack vacuums, pizza oven table caddies, some decorative plantings in the Ridgecrest Courtyard. Excuse me, a Hoyer lift for harbor. Binders, these are lift assist devices for the EMTs, and a smart TV for sniff. You know, I said, you know, we look at all this little stuff, and it was funny because, you know, David said, I don't want to talk about any of that. He says it's too little, and then you add it up, and it's $750,000.
Chris, have
But-
we done a post audit in terms of the utilization of the farm? Seems to me we made a lot of noise in the spring about we're going to have plots and people can sign up and they can go out and farm, and I don't think it was much of a success. And so before we spend money on a
Yeah.
greenhouse,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's a small. We want to think we want to take down. I don't know if you've been back there. They've got the old chicken coop, and it's kind of like being a host for vermin. So that's got to go. All that stuff's got to go anyway. And it's just a small. The building itself is only like $7,500.
well,
Chris, does this new TELS software program allow you to, when you capitalize the asset, to show the depreciation
Yes, it
over its
does.
useful life and then an estimate of what it might cost at the time that needs to be replaced?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. This was
We didn't have this before when I came on the
No.
committee.
This was a new initiative from Asset Management at Benchmark.
Okay. Because I think, and I told Mark this on day one of my participation on this committee, that we should have a capital asset management program that kind of
That's
mirrors
exactly
what we
what
do
it
on the
says.
operating.
When they
So I'm
rolled
glad
it
to hear
out,
that.
yeah, we had to go and tag every asset in the building,
Yeah.
you know, which was a bit of a challenge. So that's it. And you know, a lot of the little stuff we're starting to tee up already. Those big projects, you know, again, the big 3 are, you know, the pub, dining room and Ridgecrest. Paving, you know, we know we've got a good number at 2 million. Our initial number was a little low. I think we've got 1 bid in at 2, 1 bid in at 1.8, and we like them. So, but there's always surprises in those projects. So I presume we'll go over.
But those figures are from 2025's.
Yeah, that's
budget, what
carry-
carry
that's
over,
carry.
So it's
Yeah.
not in next year's budget.
Yeah.
well, they are and they aren't.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's like anything else, you know,
you
it's
count twice.
the money's sitting here. And, you know, we said we were gonna spend it in 2025, but we didn't. It's not like we have to fund, you know, have to fund it or anything. It's just, you
No,
know,
I know.
on a piece of paper,
We're not-
moving
it's not
it
gonna be-
over from whatever.
This is what we are going to spend, but it's not displacing things that we want to spend in
Fine.
2026. And is the 2026 capital budget approved at this point in time?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
So everything you see here is approved.
okay.
Lynn has.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah, Chris, you know, I was very impressed with the strategic plan.
Mhm.
But we haven't talked about a yearly approach to that. Does this budget take into account anything that's in the strategic plan for 2026?
We are and Brett and I pull it here. Yes, it is, because we're putting together, this is part of the strat plan, a 5-year plan for CapEx.
Okay,
And so we're looking at assets now. We've had a company come in and survey all the roofs, because those are getting, technically a flat roof is good for 25, 30 years. And so we had a company come in and they spent a significant amount of time here and have given us a bit on it. So we are trying to look out and prepare, a look forward to the capital budget as part of the strategic plan for the next 5 years.